Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday message for October 3rd of 2021. It's hard to believe that it is already October. My talk title today, The Doorway to Greater God Consciousness, actually comes from the book, The Way of Mastery. No matter where we are on our own path to feeling and being one with Source, we're always learning new ways to obtain a greater consciousness of the God source within our own selves. I've spoken many times over the past several months about how our thinking and our feeling creates the world around us. And one of the things that we need to understand if we're going to move into a more spiritual way of living on this earth is that we truly are not separate from one another, that we are always connected with everything around us. We think that because we're in these physical bodies that this, whatever you might call it, is a private domain that's just yours alone. And therefore, because you're in this body, you think that all of your thoughts are private, where only you are affected by them. So as we go through our days making this step in greater and higher consciousness, we become aware of our thoughts and our feelings so that we can create a better world for ourselves, that our own personal and private world around us can become better, healthier, more prosperous, more joy-filled, and everything else that we desire. So as we go through life, we learn to play with this, and we see how our world changes as our thoughts and feelings change. And we begin to understand that as we are sending out a new and different vibration into the world around us, we're actually getting a new and different vibration back. So of course, what we send out is what we get back. The greater and higher the vibration of thought and feeling we send out, the greater and higher vibration of thought and feeling we get back. After all, that's Unity's third precept. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And all we are doing is putting that into practice and creating the greater and better world for ourselves. Here's the thing, though. We think because we are in these bodies that we are in a very private domain or a place completely isolated from everyone else, that any thought we have or feeling we have that goes out to the world is our thought, our feeling. And we get our thought and our feeling back to us, that no one else is affected by our thoughts and feelings, that only we ourselves are the ones being affected by what we send out. So if we think a negative thought towards someone or have a negative feeling towards someone, we think that it's only us that's going to be affected by this thought pattern or these feelings that we have that are going out. So yes, that is true. We will be affected by our own thoughts and feelings. What we don't realize, though, is that in this realm where we live, we are all one. What you think toward another, yes, it will come back to you, but it's also going out and affecting the energy of the person you're thinking about or you have a feeling about. In the Way of Mastery, Jesus makes this statement. In reality, the body does not contain you. Rather, you contain the body. Mind is vast, eternal, and unlimited. Mind is what every being that you know participates in, like waves participating in the ocean. This means that anytime you think a thought about anyone, that thought is communicated to him or her. Jesus goes on to say that, of course, if they haven't done a lot of work to become sensitive to the subtle energies around them, that they may not necessarily be aware consciously that somebody's thinking certain thoughts about them. Maybe it's just that suddenly they have a thought about you or a different feeling in their body than they were just having a moment before. Now, most of the time, they're just going to say, I just had a thought about Sally or Tom or whoever. And then they just let it go. Or they might have a feeling of happiness or sadness or frustration or joy. a kind of feeling that just comes and goes, and then they don't think anything more about it. In reality, thought is the substance of all things. In the Way of Mastery, Jesus says that thought is an impulse of pure energy. He says that it is more subtle than anything else in the physical domain, that thought travels faster than the speed of light. And in fact, thought is immediately present. Now, here's the challenging part. Since you are a conscious body mind, you will actually live in what Jesus calls the ocean of Christ mind, where you are literally receiving all the impressions of all the thoughts being generated everywhere around you. Those thoughts come into your own personal auric field. And here's the challenge. We think that every thought we have is our own thought. And yet with everyone thinking at one time, sometimes those thoughts are not ours, but thoughts from others that just get into us. They're not ours at all. The beautiful part about our being a conscious spiritual being is that we have the capacity and the capability of choosing what thoughts we're going to hang on to and those that we are going to let go of. So as we raise our own vibration higher and higher through the thoughts we choose for ourselves, the thoughts from others that are not at that vibration don't really get attached to our personal auric field. It's the old adage, like attracts like. So as you are thinking the thoughts you yourself are choosing to think, then you are attracting those similar thoughts into your own personal space. And this is where books like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, or The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale come in so handy as we're growing more and more into our higher spiritual selves. They help us to keep our minds on what is the truth of our being and assist us to keep choosing thoughts of a higher and higher domain, and help us to understand how important positive thoughts are. I've already spoken so many times about how our thoughts influence the world around us and how good attracts good. Positive thoughts of good attract more positive good into our lives. So anything you think about another person, yes, it comes back to you, but it's also going out and influencing the other person that you're thinking about. Now let's look at this for a moment. Do you really understand just how powerful this is? That you actually have the power within you to affect the lives and the actions of another person. Every thought you think toward anyone affects you and the other person. If a majority of people on this earth truly understood this, we could change the entire planet. If we were to hold every person in this world that is doing something atrocious in love, capital L love, those people would change. Love is the changing factor in all situations. Remember, we are all being bombarded with every thought going out from everyone. If we would only hold love in our hearts and minds, then as our energy changes, so does the energy of all those around us change. And that's why I have spoken in the past about sending love to everyone around you, not only those you like and care for. And if you can't send love, then send compassion, send kindness or thoughts of caring, even just thoughts of blessing. Why? Because we are all one. We are connected. If we are receiving every thought out there in the universe, then so is everyone else. Most people are just crying out for love. So why don't we be the ones to give them that love? Jesus in Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 to 48 says, "You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain to the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that? So be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Matt Kahn once stated that if a fully enlightened angel went to hell, hell would not exist, because the love coming from that fully enlightened angel would wipe out all the transgressions of everyone there. But aren't we living in a type of hell on this earth right now? Look around you with all the conflict going on. What if we truly understand that we actually were angels that came down to this planet to help change the energy of this place? The Way of Mastery states, when love leads the way, when love is the field and energy you are abiding within, everywhere you go, you are touching the universe in a way that is much more subtle than the conscious mind. The universe will respond to you because love responds to itself, like a flower that opens to sunlight. You know, you love to be around beings and other people that talk about unlimitedness, that talk about great vision. And they're reminding you that you also are unlimited. And that is the natural state of the kingdom of heaven. We have come through all our experience in life to believe ourselves to be less than the greatness of God that is within us. Because of this, we're attracting from that belief. And as we have come to know, like attracts like. If you want to attract all those that will support you in every way you want and need, open your minds, hearts, and being to receive the love, the presence, and the pleasure of God's presence in your life. Choose to think only loving thoughts. Learn to master forgiveness. Dare to follow your heart. Celebrate as much of life as you can allow yourself to celebrate. Choose to do the things that bring you joy. Walk as if you yourself were the fullness of the Christ light itself. The universe responds to the vibrational quality that you are emitting from the radio station of your own mind. As your love vibration goes out to the world, those who are ready to pick it up and take it on as their own, take it within themselves. It raises their energy. Then they send that out to the world to be picked up by more who are ready to pick it up and take it in as their own. And they take it in within themselves, and it raises their energy to go out to the world. And it goes on and on and on. You could be the catalyst that brings the fullness of love to this planet and changes the full energy of planet Earth to be the paradise that it was once meant to be. Each of us is free to choose and make our own decisions around life. Just teach yourself to notice when your energy field is contracted, and just do the opposite. Choose to receive love. Be the one who gives love to yourself, simply so that you can enjoy it, thereby raising your energy to be the enlightened angel on this earth. And watch not only your personal world change, but watch planet Earth change. So I invite us to take this into a time of meditation. Just close your eyes and place your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in, and as you let it out, just allow your body to relax. What thoughts are you thinking right now? Are you fully in the room where you're at right at this time with your thoughts? Or are you already doing what you want to do this afternoon? Are you thinking about the message that I just gave? Or are you thinking of something that you have to do or something that someone said to you? Whatever it is that you are thinking, say to yourself, I choose to think of love right now. I choose to think of someone I love. I choose to think of something that has brought me joy. Or you could just say, I love you to yourself. Most of us do not receive the love we need because we still think we have to receive it from outside of ourselves. Instead, we can never receive more love than anyone else and how much we love ourselves. Matt Kahn has this beautiful statement that he has shared so often. When we can love ourselves, the world loves us back. One of his meditations is to just put your hand over your heart and say, I love you to yourself. So let's do that right now. Just put your hand over your heart, connect with your own being and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Really connect with your own heart, your own being. I love you. I love you. I love you. Just feel the love coming into your own being. Feel your heart expands as it absorbs the love you are sending it. Feel your energy expand, accepting all the love you are giving it. And now pretend it is God saying these words to you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You may want to put both hands over your heart. God, Source, is still speaking to you, loving you, accepting you just as you are. I love you. I love you. I love you. And now with all the love in your heart, you can bring forth, just tell God, Source, God, I love you. Thank you for loving me just as I am. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. And you may open your eyes whenever you wish, feeling the love of God, the love of you to you, just flowing through your entire being. So filled with this love, I'm asking you to go forth and share this love with the world in your own very unique way. So God bless everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And namaste all.